Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday today, and hope you guys are all gonna have a good weekend or are having a good Saturday so far. Today I wanted to bring a quick video at you guys at how I got probably the coolest classic rock guitar tone that I've found that I've ever done, I think. So, as you guys saw in my last video, or it was on stream yesterday, I had I put my PV Windsor back into use, and since then I completely redid my studio. So now I have an entire section up here dedicated to just amp recording, and that amp recording room is really cool. I got it all sonically soundproofed and all that good stuff, and super cool. And so I want to show you guys what I did to get probably the coolest classic rock guitar tone I have been able to come up with so far. I thought it was pretty exciting, and then after this I will give you guys an entire breakdown of what I did to get this tone. Tell me what you think. What I was going for is kind of the Working Man by Rush, that kind of just high gain, heavy classic guitar tone that isn't super crispy. It's got kind of a lot of that shakiness to it that, I don't know, I'm shooting for that 80s heavy rock, heavy metal guitar tone, and I feel like I totally nailed it. I thought it sounds really, really great. So, that being said, I will play for you just a hot second and show you guys what this tone sounds like. With that being said, I am going to go over and show you guys how I got this tone and how it sounds. I mean, to me, it just nails that classic rock sound perfectly. It sounds really great, and it took some ingenuity, and I used the same mics that I used for my my snare shootout, my snare mic shootout. And if you guys want to hear a guitar mic shootout, let me know in the comments below, because I really am wanting to test these out for for a guitar shootout. And I feel like if if you guys want to see it, I'm happy to make it. But if, you know, I want to make sure people receive the snare one well, you know, before I start making another one of the same kind of video if no one wants to watch it. So yeah, that being said, give this video a like and subscribe if you would. And with that being said, let's jump right into how I got this tone. Alright guys, welcome to the kind of brief studio tour here, and also how I got this awesome classic rock tone. So first I'll show you guys kind of around the studio. Right now this is what I'd call the control room portion of the studio, basically what we have here is we have my laptop, which I do all my mixing on. We have my PC, which is the big screen up top here, my mixing monitors to get accurate sound appearance, and then we have my gaming PCs down here, in case you guys wanted to see that again, right there. My guitar pedal board is right here, and then up here we have my 16-channel Mackie mixer. Just got a little desk lamp here, and then over here we have my stereo for my sound system on my PC, and then a DVD player so I can play my CDs. And here we have a 351 ART 31 band EQ, which I will show you guys what I did with that in a moment, and then my audio interface here, two channel input, and this kind of covers the control room section of the studio. Now over here, this here is, you know, big blanket on the wall. And here's like my storage boxes for all my cables and that sort of thing. Here is a stand for one of my guitars that I built. And now if I take this down, you guys are able to see into the amp room. And so what I have going on in the amp room is on the bottom I have my homemade cabinet. This is my homemade 2x12, and the homemade 2x12 is made, you know, on the left is what I called the modern speaker, and on the right is the vintage speaker. I have my PA speaker right here, and that's for like doing live stuff. And then here is my DJ mixing console, which I currently am using as a power strip. And then my power amp mounts in there too. I don't use that stuff quite as much. And then up top, I have the Boss Katana KTN 100 combo amp and my PV Windsor tube amp. And so the Windsor and the Boss Katana are my two guitar amps. So right now for this tone, I'm using the PV Windsor. So now to show you guys how I have things hooked up. Down here, oh, and also the reason I have clothes and stuff in here and blankets, that soundproofs the room and helps make the room not so flat, so stuff doesn't echo, and it gives you a better sound picture. So that's why I also have the big blanket that I put up on the wall, so it creates a small enclosed space to record my stuff, and it makes things sound a lot more crisp. So that being said, what I have right now is I have 4 channels of microphones right here. One of them is being used for my vocal mic at my desk, so channel 2 here, this one we can ignore. We don't need to worry about this one. Channel 1 is set to medium, and all neutral, EQ, all that kind of stuff. No sends on except about 12 o'clock on the master send. And then what that is the master send. All that does is that sends it outboard from here and sends it into my hardware EQ. And this hardware EQ, all I did on it is, it's tough to see because some of the knobs are broken as you get closer, but the bottom end is all flat across here, nothing changed, and then once I get to about the 4K region, about 4,000 hertz for frequency, I take a little dip, like a nice smooth circular dip in the EQ, and that gets rid of a lot of the static of the guitar tone. So the only mic that's being run through that for this tone is my SM57. And besides that, I have it set to the plus or minus 6 dB range. So it's not stomping down on it too hard, just hard enough. And then also my low pass or high pass filter is set at 40. My low pass is set at about 12K. And then my level has maximum output, so I can turn the bypass on and off, and it keeps the same level with the rest of my stuff. And then on my mixer here, I have my master return sent to about 3/4 turn, you know, 3/4 about of what's going out of my main signal, and then that's going into my interface stereo jacked. And the cool thing about that tone you guys are hearing as well, none of that was post-processing. You can see I was playing with it here. This is what I was monitoring it through, and you guys can see it might be tough because I don't think my camera will zoom in, but those effects buttons there would be above the tracks. Those would be green if I had anything going on. So I have no effects going on for that tone, so I could put reverb on it or delay or whatever else and create some different cool things. So all I did here then is my SM57 is going through the EQ, and that is mic'd up just about on the cap edge, between the cap edge and the center of the speaker, of the modern speaker. And then that is the 57, that's the one being run through the EQ. And then back here for like a room mic effect, I have my nameless XLR input mic that I talked about from the snare shootout, and then closer to the vintage speaker, I have my Star Power SP9. And now the blend for that is my Star Power SP9. Let me check the bands on here so I can make sure. Oh, uh-oh. My Star Power SP9 is boosted, or is sitting at about halfway on my mixing console, and boosted all the way is the Nameless brand XLR, and that's my room mic. So getting that depth out of the room mic makes a big deal. And so for my Windsor settings, I have it in the high gain input. I have my preamp volume at 9, bass at 8, middles at 5.5, treble at about 8, no boost. I don't have my effects loop on right now, and then my master volume is at about 2, just because in a bedroom recording situation that's what works. Resonance is at about 7, presence at about 9, 9.5, and my texture is just slightly past middle. And that is what I have done to record that cool classic guitar tone. Blending those mics gets that perfect, and the PV Windsor is a big part of it, and I feel like the old cab speakers also contribute to that. So with that being said, that is my setup for how I got that cool guitar tone. And it's also a view at the new studio layout. Alright guys, and with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys, obviously it's tough because I have some weird gear. The PV Windsor doesn't get sold anymore. I had to buy it used from somebody, and I was lucky that I found one. And then that cabinet obviously is one of a kind, and you know, it has its own sound to it, and those speakers, I have no idea what they are. So if I could tell you anything about how to go recreate this yourself, I would, but I cannot at the moment, unfortunately. I have no way to identify those speakers and the cabinet, home built, all that stuff. But with that being said, you guys can totally translate all of the tips I gave you on how to use the mixer. And you don't need a huge mixer like I have. I mean, all you need is a 2 to 3 channel mixer and you can mix your mics. I mean, I'm barely using the second mic. I'm just using a little bit of it for flavor. And the third mic is where I have it boosted all the way compared with my 57 as a room mic. So, I mean, the hardware EQ you don't really need either. You could use software plugins too, and I can give you guys a list of my top favorite software plugins if you guys want to see a video like that later. But yeah, I have, you know, some old mics. The Star Power SP9, I have barely using it. And then just having a vocal mic for a room, like a Nameless brand vocal mic for the rooms. I really, really like that mic. It gives a great sound and really beefs it up. And then the 57 obviously is just your go-to for guitars, so there's no reason not to at least try it when you're doing stuff for recording guitar. The only mic I didn't try to put over there is this one right here, my Samson R21S, and that's because I've been using it for vocals, and it has a lot of high end, and I didn't need to add any more high end to the sound. So yeah, with that being said, you guys can take that mic scheme, that mic idea, and the mixing idea on like a mixing board like that, or you can mix it within your DAW too. You don't need an outboard mixer for it either. But just to show you guys about blending those mics, and I love the sound I get going through the 16 channel and the hardware EQ. Personally, I like outboard, the sound of outboard effects. And then also a tube amp makes a big difference than a digital. I should shoot out my digital versus my tube amp. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below, and I will check that out, because I would like to see what you guys, what your guys' thoughts are, and if you guys want to see a tube amp versus digital amp shootout. So yeah, with that being said, what do you guys think? Did you like the tone? Did you think it sounded bad? Do you think it sounded great? Do you think it needed something more, a little brighter, a little less? You know, up to you. Yeah, just wanting to hear your guys' take on everything and all that. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot. If you could like, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want, check out my song, The Curve. It's the first song ever released by Riffjaw, and it's pretty cool. I'm very happy with it, and yeah, I think you guys will like it too. You can check it out on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, all those stores, anywhere you can find music. And then on top of that, you can also, if you'd like to support me even more, you can go on Google Play or Apple iTunes, that's what it's called. You can go on Google Play or iTunes and buy the song. It's only 99 cents, and it goes a long way to helping me keep the show going and, you know, showing me that you guys enjoy what I'm putting out. So with that being said, I'll say with that being said a million times, but one last time with that being said, thank you guys once again so much, and I will see you guys on Monday.